What is up? We are live and we are talking all things NXT Great American Bash. I should have put an exclamation mark at the end of that sentence because it sounds more impactful, but I didn't. Guys, we've got a busy week this week. Obviously, this is one of 3 streams, at least talking about the show. Obviously, we're starting with NXT because we've just finished kind of what's happening with that. The reason we haven't done Saturday night's main event yet, we are going to cover it, is because we still got kind of Friday to go. We could have done Evolution today. However, that's I believe that's tomorrow, right, guys?
Yeah, tomorrow.
So we're going to be covering that too. So we are going to be covering this Great American Bash, Evolution, then Saturday night's main event, and I'm still trying to figure out a way to get AEW All In as a prediction. We will cover that, but kind of at a later date because there's a lot of wrestling today this week, guys. Like 4 shows in the space of 48 hours. That's absolutely insanity. But we are talking Great American Bash. Are you excited for it? I know we tend to enjoy NXT more than Raw and SmackDown. Quite a lot, actually. So Deekz, I'll let you start. Obviously, it's probably your favorite show more than anyone else's. Are you excited for the build and the matches for Great American Bash?
Yeah, the Great American Bash card is looking particularly special. There's a couple of good matches on there, so yeah, it's gonna be good fun.
And Shades, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good show.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any that you guys have got that match-wise that you guys think you're looking forward to a little bit more? Or is it going to be a moment or something like that you feel may lead to something, for example, with women matches going to Evolution? Because it does kind of feel like a few will sway into the story there. So, Shades, what do you reckon?
I reckon that we're going to see some cool things happen. Maybe surprises.
Yep.
NXT as a whole is just probably the best show right now in regards to just everything in general. Out of the main 3, it's where I get the most OMG factors. Like to quote really great childhood memories, the SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, the OMG moments, if you will.
Yeah, no, I agree. Deekz, is there? Do you think there's going to be stuff more or less to I would say the women, because obviously we've got 2 women's matches on the card. Do you think any of those are going to kind of sway into Evolution? Do you think there'll be a build or lead off from this to do with Evolution?
Yeah. They're definitely build off of this to Evolution, because 2 of the matches that are on the card that night, 2 of the women are in action on Evolution the next night. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, speaking with the women, get started on these predictions. Obviously, we're going to start off with one set of one of the matches that involves the women. A personal favorite of mine, Ruca with Zaria, by the way, versus Izzi Dame with Tatum Paxley in a singles match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. I'll go first on this one, and I'll pass it over to Deekz straight after. And then the next time I'll call it out, I'll let Shades go, and we'll go around basically in a loop. Look, I'm really excited for this. My prediction feels kind of swayed, purely because I'm unsure. Again, this is what I like about it. Because of Evolution happening, I feel because Ruca is already a champion, she could drop it here to Izzi Dame, which would be fine, because she's actually in the women's tag team kind of match that's happening on the Sunday. So she could drop gold and get gold within 24 hours. And I'm quite interested in that. However, I am really interested in Ruca and Zaria becoming tag champions on Sunday. Obviously, not that that's a spoiler for what my prediction would be, but I think it'll be a very cool idea if it does happen. Having some women, obviously women NXT champs, So I'm unsure. Could I see Ruca as a triple champ? Because obviously she's already the speed champ. as well. So I'm gonna say Sol Ruca retains because I feel they're gonna do something with her and the titles, as a big thing. Deekz, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, following off what you said, Zaria is in action both nights. It's going to be very interesting. But I don't see Izzi Dame winning this title off Zaria. Zaria, she's energetic, she's energetic and powerful mixture. She's determined to keep this title as well. So I'm going Zaria to defend the title and keep it.
All right, cool. And finally, that leads on to Deekz. What is your thoughts on this? Sorry, Shades even.
My thoughts. I was hoping you wouldn't start with this one because this is the only one I feel unsure on.
Sorry. It was literally the first one that was on the graphics. I was like, well, I'll start with that one because we were talking about the women. Because I just think this one is going to underplay the women's NXT main title. So I was like, there's got to be the other one. I can't segue away into men after Evolution. So unfortunately, it was kind of luck of the draw. I apologize.
No, all good. I'll make it really easy for you and for everyone listening. Sol Ruca to win. Hands down. Just win. She's a beast. Taking nothing away from her opponent. But this one goes to Sol Ruca in just sheer pinfall, submission, whatever you want to do. It's a Sol Ruca win.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a unanimous decision. I do not think it's time for Izzi Dame yet. I think something else may be happening along them lines, maybe at the next show or something like that. I'm going to open the floor to both of you guys. So obviously, I'll leave a gap. One of you can jump in, ideally. Do you think, obviously, with the Zaria being there as well, do you think something along these lines, something a bit dodgy is going to happen in order for this match to go Sol Ruca's way, or do you think it'll be like a clear-cut win? Do you think Tatum Paxley is going to get involved? Do you think any shenanigans, anything like that? Obviously, I'll open the floor to both of you. So yeah, give us your thoughts.
If there's any shenanigans in this match, it'll be off from Tatum Paxley's side, not on Izzi Dame's side. Tatum Paxley will interfere somehow, over little leg trips or distractions or something like that for Izzi Dame, but it won't be enough to help her win. So it'll just be an annoyance more than anything else.
All right, Shades.
Basically what Deekz said, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Just real quick then. Do you think? Go on.
Nothing to add to that, but I just want to make it clear. Just because we're all going Sol Ruca takes nothing away from Izzi Dame. No ill intent there. I want to make that clear. Up and coming powerhouse for sure. Just not your time. No ill intent there to any Izzi Dame fans, because we kind of really went Sol Ruca there and didn't really mention Izzi too much. Just want to make that clear. Big Izzi fan. It's not it's not your time to sit at the table.
I was going to say, obviously, with Tatum Paxley being at ringside, and obviously Zaria being at ringside, what are your thoughts on, just hypothetical? Let's say, for example, the match was to go the way that we think is going to be Sol Ruca. Let's say Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley were to injure those two women and leave a space open. Would you say you would be happy with someone else taking their spot in Evolution? Because obviously they're in a tag match. Now, if so, not that I want to give a spoiler for Evolution, because we're doing that tomorrow. But if yes, would you be happy with those two women stepping out, and then another two women, for example, another tag team, like Lash Legend, something like that, kind of put in that spot, you know? Or do you think Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley should then take their position because they took them out as far as Evolution? But obviously, everything that we talk about, so with the women's stuff, kind of may have repercussions the following night. So Shades, I'll let you drop in first with that one. So do you think if they are taken out in a match and they're injured enough that they can't compete on Sunday, who do you think should take their spot? Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley, or do you think it should be someone else?
Where do I stand with this? Well, I'll give a broad answer on this.
Yeah.
Whenever, let's say, someone's injured, you know, in the past, the title was handed over to someone else in the group. You know, I know that doesn't straight reference what we're going because it's kind of a different situation, but in the tag world, if you can't, if you're injured or you get hurt and you can't step up to the plate, your title either goes to someone else. Like what? Similar to what happened in Judgment Day with, you know, Liv injured, Roxanne title. You know, if you get beaten so badly, you either relinquish them or a storyline is built that, you know, enough that you return with them, or a new team is found to hold them.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen it in different ways happen. Obviously, with Judgment Day, as I mentioned, yes, Liv out with an actual injury, but the title wasn't relinquished. Raquel didn't have to relinquish nothing. They found a way around it, and it stayed with the group.
Yeah.
Let's say if the whole group's injured, so, you know, what do you do then? In my opinion, hold a tournament for a new set of champs.
Yeah, I agree. Deekz, what's your thinking on it? Obviously, bouncing off of what Shade said. Sol Ruca and Zaria were to come out. Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley, should they get the priority to go in that spot clearly because they took them out? Do you think it means there should be another tag team from NXT? Or do you think it could be a tag team, as we were kind of discussing off there? We won't go into too much detail on this. We'll talk more about it on the Evolution stream. But do you think a team could come over from TNA, for example, and we get a switch there? Something along those lines. Do you reckon that will happen if Sol Ruca and Zaria are taken out by Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley on Saturday?
I can't see Tatum Paxley and Izzi Dame taking them out injury wise. Can't see it happening. But if it does happen, it wouldn't surprise me if with the WWE past things that happen that we do reward the people who injure someone else. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did do that. Put them two in their spot. Wouldn't surprise me one little bit.
Yeah. Obviously, we won't go into details of who, for example, who we will cover. However, what we'll do is we'll leave it kind of on a cliffhanger. Because I think we all have some names in mind. You know, we spoke about it kind of off air and we kind of said, okay, maybe this team, maybe that team, so on and so on. So we have people in mind that we would like to say, but obviously we'll keep that for Evolution. We'll bring this conversation back up then to cover kind of what we said. But we'll move on to the next match. Actually, I want to move on to something before we have the next match. Guys, we have a TNA, because we're talking about TNA. We have a TNA contract signing happening on the show. With Joe Hendry, right? On top of that, we also have Trick Williams, and then we have Mike Santana for the TNA Championship. Now, I'm under the impression that this covers TNA Slammiversary, right? That's for what this is for. So if that's the case, one question, obviously we're going to have to ask on air, does that mean we've now got to cover TNA Slammiversary? Because obviously we're talking about it now, right? So that's the first question to open up to the floor. Obviously that's fine, and we'll have to do predictions and reactions and all that stuff. The second thing, why do you think they've decided to do this on the pay-per-view as opposed to doing it on NXT? Did anyone have like a reason as to why we'd have a contract signing on a pay-per-view. I'm not against it. I think it's a great idea to get TNA basically on the show. But do you reckon that's the only reason, or do you think there's something more coming from that? Shade, what's your thoughts?
I'll put it in a very Triple H-y way. The Netflix era has started. We are deep into it, and history will be made. History being made right there. You've got another brand, let alone, what we've seen in the past, with Royal Rumbles and other PLEs and stuff. And, Joe Hendry being a big part, WrestleMania. Now you've got a TNA contract signing on a WWE PLE. Why not TNA do your own contract signing on your own show?
Yeah.
The reason being there, in my opinion, there's more eyes in the WWE world. There's more eyes, there's more fans, there's more to lock eyes with. I need to watch TNA now because of this contract signing. It's WWE helping out their partnership with TNA, helping draw some eyes to the TNA brand. I've watched TNA. I watched it back in the day when it was a 6-sided ring, if you will.
Yeah.
It's gone a bit up and down as all shows do. They need. I don't want to say they need the help, but they need a boost. Maybe this is their way of getting a boost because it's a great company with great stars, with great talent. What better way to get a boost than your own contract signing for your own show on the grandest show you can do? A WWE PLE when millions around the world tune in to watch it.
Yeah.
History in the making.
I agree. Deekz, you got anything to add to that? Do you think that's the reason then? Because there's going to be more eyes, obviously, on the product as a pay-per-view as opposed to like a normal TV taping. Yeah,
guaranteed that's the reason. They're using the pay-per-view hype / the size of the arena because they're wrestling in a bit big an arena, not like a normal normal NXT show where the arena they probably got 4,000-5,000 fans in it. If you go to a pay-per-view for NXT, it's like being on a main Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Like 30,000 fans in the audience. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
Bigger stages, bigger sorry, I can't get a word out.
Population.
In of people in the building. So that makes sense that way.
I would recommend after we go off air, you go on YouTube, just look at the last Slammiversary and look at how many people were in the crowd compared to like an NXT PLE show. It's not as big as you think when you hear it. When they do a house show, I think it's like 10,000 or maybe less.
There's a few. I will say though. Yeah, I will say. I will just quickly tell you, Deekz. But obviously, I know you don't kind of jump in the online kind of in era, and do you know what I mean? Like you discuss it with us, and you watch the shows and stuff. You don't normally know like things like how much ticket prices are going for, what's sold out, what's flopping, and all that kind of stuff. I just want you to NXT. It's Great American Bash. I'll tell you where we're doing it. They're sending it in Atlanta, Georgia, and the venue is called Center Stage. Right? I'll give you the concept of it's a mid-sized concept complex comprising of 3 separate venues located in Atlanta, Georgia. All right? Originally known as Theatre Atlanta. Now, just as a wild guess, how many do you think they're set up for? Because it's set up like a theatre. So how many do you think they're set up for? How many do you think in your head when we were discussing it? Now you know it's in a theatre. How many do you think it's now at? Because we were talking about obviously the population and obviously getting the big eyes on it and all that stuff. Obviously, yes, eyes through NXT, through Netflix, fine. But how many do you think are in the arena?
It sounds like
a wild guess.
It sounds like by the arena size you explained to me, it might be a similar size to what they got now, which is probably maybe 4,000 or 5,000.
The current setup is 772 seats.
Oh wow! Oh dear, it's tiny.
Yeah.
As I said, TNA need a boost.
No, this is obviously. Yeah, obviously this is for NXT. So the NXT Great American Bash PLE probably has similar amount of fans that NXT probably has for their TV tapings.
Oh wow, that's a small.
Insane. And I think this has a little bit more than what an NXT has, obviously, because they have it in the PC, like the Performance Center. So obviously that's what they do there. So it's probably about 300-400 like stacked. Yeah. So their current setup is 772, and as of 2 days ago, I'm reading this. It may have changed by now, so don't quote me correctly, but 593 tickets have been distributed.
Oh wow! I thought the venue's much bigger than that. I was thinking at least like 5,000 fans, because NXT is growing big and everyone loves it.
Did you have in mind NXT at WrestleMania? You see when they done the show there and it was just pumping, and everyone was there. Yeah, me too. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, it's going to be great. I'm assuming Shades probably thought the same thing until we kind of see the low number. You know?
I'll put it this way. Maybe, just maybe, WWE don't need the big arena for this show, because they know that whether you have 100,000 people in the arena or 100, they already know that the show will generate millions upon millions of views worldwide, which they're going to make a lot of money from. Like, obviously, they're not going to lose money on this show, or else they wouldn't do the show.
Yeah.
But the shocking thing is the sheer number. You would have a WWE show with, I really want to say, barely any fans, which is shocking.
Yeah.
We have more fans at Sheffield when we go than at this PLE.
Yeah.
Think about it for a minute. A house show with 12,000 fans, no cameras. Obviously, they have the little ones just in case, like, for example, when Seth Rollins got injured on his one. And you have NXT, Great American Bash, not even 1,000 seats.
I know.
Something is wrong there, in my opinion.
I will say, I do agree. Sorry, I was going to say as well, don't forget, lads, that not only is this obviously being streamed on Netflix, obviously as we're discussing it, obviously it will be streamed on Netflix live, right? But remember, this is also coming out. This is being shown 8 p.m. UK time, right? Now, the other thing that is also being shown 8 p.m. at UK time, for us at least, AEW. So not only is the fan base for those who do dip into both and double dip in both companies, which we do, right? Or triple dip, because obviously TNA. But yeah, so you're not definitely going to get a lot of people watching one and then watching the other. It's going to be like back in the old days of territory with WCW and WWF at the time, obviously on Monday Night Wars, with watching this, flipping over, watching this, flipping over, watching this, so on and so on and so on. So it's going to be a hell of a lot more interesting to see what's happening, which is why I said to you guys, obviously within the topic that we were discussing, why would they do this on the pay-per-view? Because I don't know if they're going to get as many eyes as they're expecting on the pay-per-view compared to a TV taping, because of the stuff that we've said. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm unsure on why this should have happened as the contract signing. I get doing it because obviously it gets TNA on the PLE and the title and showcase and stuff, and obviously Trick Williams and the other two guys. But when they're competing against AEW on a real busy weekend, surely would have just done this on Tuesday just gone, no? or the week after. So obviously, with that being in mind, what do you think their process is now? Do you still, now we kind of discussed it a bit, do you think it's still the same reason, or do you think maybe they pulled the trigger on this a little bit too soon? They could have held back a week.
Oh, I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. But now all the tables are turned. I'm not sure anymore. What I've done wrong here?
Yeah. Shades, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts are the same.
Mhm.
Whether you have, I'll say again very briefly, whether you have a WrestleMania crowd or a house show crowd or a crowd like WrestleForce, one of our local companies of maybe 50 people.
Yeah.
If you've got camera, the point, if you've got a camera, the possibilities are endless. And when you're WWE and you have Netflix and you have 100 million people tuning in every week to watch your show, at that point, does it matter how many's in the crowd?
No, but I'm not saying it's just the crowd. Obviously, I'm saying, yes, the crowd can be small. That's not a problem. My thing is, when they're competing, obviously AEW's All In. Obviously, I guess let's call it their big PLE of the year, All In. Obviously, in WWE that would be WrestleMania. Super Bowl, that would be, in NFL would be Super Bowl. NHL, the Stanley Cup, and obviously UK, the FA Cup or Champions League, whatever, like their big hurrah event. Why would you have something as like a contract signing where you can get eyes on a product like we're talking about? But remember, they're going back to back with AEW. So let's say half of the fans that would normally watch, let's say 20,000 fans or 30,000 fans that would normally watch AEW on a Wednesday and NXT on a Tuesday, if they pick to watch AEW, that's 20,000 fans less visually live that are seeing in this moment because they're watching AEW. That's what I'm saying. Do you not think they pulled the trigger and they should have too early and they should have done it on the following show because they know they're going to have those eyes on the products? Because some people like to double dip on the shows. So for me, I think they should have done this next week. That's my thing.
There's two possibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
One, well, there's two things really that I see. One, would I have booked it in this arena? Nothing against the arena, but I believe in my heart it is too small for an NXT PLE. Too small. What do you want fans to do on the back-to-back front? Have two TVs?
Exactly.
What are we gonna do? Let's say if we meet to watch these, are we gonna have? I don't know. I'll bring my TV. Deekz brings his TV, and we put them next to each other. We have WWE and AW on two TV. It's not gonna work, because you're gonna be watching one and you're gonna miss out on the other one. Like, in my opinion, I get that they want to go toe to toe. There's a time and a place to go toe to toe. This is not the time to go toe to toe. You're going to do better numbers than anyway. You're going to do millions more numbers in just TV views.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done it on Twitter, for example, or done the thing on YouTube, or do you know what I mean, or Netflix, and then just took the video of the big moment and put it on and made it go viral. Do you know what I mean? I'd also say as well, guys, that not that I'm bashing NXT because obviously we love NXT, but Deekz, Shades, what you just said about obviously putting it in an arena that's a bit bigger, right? Now, I fully agree that NXT should, I think we all agree unanimously that NXT should be in a bigger arena and it shouldn't just be 700 for a big PLE for what they're doing, right? However, I will say, as of at the moment, yes, they've distributed about 500 out of 700 tickets, which is not bad. That's like nearly 75%. However, just to sit almost at ringside, do you know a ticket is free? I'm looking right now, $334 to see NXT.
They're gonna make mega money from 700 seats. Let's say that's $300 a seat.
Yeah. That's 210,000. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying for NXT, guys. This is what I'm saying for NXT. So if they're struggling to sell like these final 200 now, and the ticket price is like $340 odd, why didn't they just drop the ticket price to like $50? because they would have filled an arena because it's cheap, cheerful tickets. So I don't know what the mindset behind this idea of doing Great American Bashes and doing things like these contract signings. Like, I understand it, like I get the premise, but surely lower ticket price will get more people in the arena, more people to make noise, more people in the arena will see the TNA title and all the rest of this PLE. But not only that, if we done it on a different day, you're going to get another 10, 15, 20,000 on Netflix. So I'm so confused with why they've chosen to do this. I mean, we've all made good points. I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. But I just feel like the more we're talking about it, the more I'm thinking, man, they're idiots for doing it on Saturday. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Again, let me just react. We have no ill intent. We just either don't understand why they're doing this. We kind of disagree with certain parts, but it's going to work purely because of the Netflix thing. If there was no Netflix, then I would be concerned. I tell you that much, because Netflix plays such a big part in NXT and the boys and girls there that put their heart and soul into it. You know, you sometimes the boys and girls on NXT, I feel, put more heart and soul into what they're doing than the main brands do. The main brand stars, and I won't name names because we're not here for that. But near enough, I'll go out on a limb here. Every single person that has picked up an NXT contract that is currently signed will put 110 million% effort in to this show. And they're paid, maybe let's look at, for example, Megastar on WWE is paid 10 million. These guys are paid nowhere near the same, and they give so much more heart. Give them the crown that they deserve. You know that you can fill seats. We've seen it. WrestleMania, the show before.
Yeah, exactly.
Stacked upon stacked upon stacked. Every show should be stacked with fans. Whether it's in the PC, whether it's in, say, when Raw runs, run it in the Raw arena. Run it in the SmackDown arena. You don't need to run it in a theater. You're not a small indie show. You are one of the biggest shows on the planet. And I really feel, you know what? I feel sorry for all people on the card who have to wrestle in front of 700 people, because they deserve to wrestle in front of so many more.
Oh, I agree. I would say though, AEW recently have done theaters, and I must say the aesthetic of how the theater looks when they do the setup and all that kind of thing looks incredible. And because it's made in such a way, the acoustics obviously make the noise travel and make it sound louder. When NXT came to Blackpool and they done it in kind of like a theater 10 years ago, it sounded insane. But no, I feel you. I think we're all unanimously in agreement. But let's try and put some positivity back in it. Let's put a little bounce in our step. And the reason I say let's put bounce in our step is because it's one of Deekz' favorites. Let's talk about Bouncy, the young OG. Let's talk about Javon Evans versus Jasper. Boy, Deekz, I'll let you go first. He's probably one of your favorite guys. Who are you going with?
Oh, Javon, last week, Javon, when he come out and dropped, oh, that was amazing. When he come out and hit that drop on him, I nearly hit the floor in shock because I was expecting it from nowhere. Has Javon even got the talent to win this match? Yes. Has he got the heart to win this match? Yes. Do I think he's gonna win it? No. I'm sorry, Javon, but I don't think he's gonna win it.
Oh my god.
Hold on, my heart person.
Oh, so's mine. He's got talent. He's got a gift. He's a great wrestler. He's got ability for days, but I don't think he's got the power he needs to win this match. His opponent he's against is a strong guy, and he's a big guy as well. So that's why I give it to the other. That's why I give it to the other guy.
Are you sure about what you're saying? Do you want to go again?
No, I don't want to go again. I don't really want to talk anymore. Leave me alone.
All right, go ahead, Shades. I'll let you go.
In the world. Now that the black hole is left,
yeah,
Cora appeared in front of me. Then Deekz summoned it.
All right, go on. Who are you going with?
Who am I going with? Now, if you've listened to previous shows, which you damn well should, because they're amazing, you're going to know every single time this man is mentioned, the high-flying aristocrat himself, Javon Evans, is going to win. He's going to storm through it. It's his time to shine. He's one of the best on NXT. I take nothing away from anyone else. He's my favorite. I'm allowed a favorite. He's going to win hands down. It's going to be a spectacular, and I'm going to say this now, this has all the capability to be match of the night.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
I just can't get over what Deekz has just said. I'm sitting here, I'm ruffled.
I can hear. All right. Well, I agree with you. I think this really does have the potential to be match of the night. I think that's again a unanimous decision. These guys can go. I think both of them are incredible talents. You know, and obviously as Deekz was saying, Jasper was praised by Javon Evans only a couple of weeks ago. You know, the story in the build, Troy attacking Evans like later on, and you know, and then Evans kind of returned in favor the following week. Like, it's a nice way to kind of bring these two up, you know, and obviously using backstage as a moment, having a big brawl from them, and you know, their match being announced by Ava. Then, I think it's a very easy build for two guys and to keep them both busy. And I think because of that, they've made. I wouldn't say it's like, you know, when you say like you can't polish a turd, but you can put glitter on it because something's so bad. If you know what I mean, like in one of them examples, you know, or like making chicken soup out of chicken poop, should we say? This isn't one of those times. This is the guys were given something to work with, and not only have they delivered, it's a home run. So the only thing now is the match in its entirety, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I think for what happens next, Jasper Troy needs to win. I don't think Javon Evans is going to win. I think story-wise, Jasper has to have this moment. I think because it makes sense story-wise, and obviously to bring him to, you know, like to bring him into like another realm of what's happening, you know, and really elevate him. Because Javon Evans, man, like people use Javon Evans as a good way to be elevated. And if they're now doing that with kind of Jasper Troy and partnering with him, then I feel like that makes sense. So for reasons as that, as much as I'm a big fan of Bouncy, I think it's got to be Jasper.
I'm gonna viewers, don't be alarmed by this. I'm gonna hit them both with a steel chair. They're talking stupid. You've got Bouncy in a ring and you're giving it to someone else. You know, and Black Hole happened when Deekz mentioned it, and Earthquakes just happened when you've mentioned it. Flipping it, if I mentioned it, the Earth would open up.
Oh, that's savage. Savage on Joe.
Yeah, it is. But you see my point. You know, like someone's got to win and someone's got to lose, and please pardon the pun, no pun intended. Well, pun intended, I guess. Javon Evans can technically bounce back from this moment. Literally bounce back from this moment. Jasper Troy kind of needs this moment a little more. So I think Jasper Troy getting this win, it kind of pushes him in another direction where Javon Evans can. I mean, put it this way: Jasper Troy hasn't wrestled Randy Orton. Javon has. Do you know what I mean? So we have to look at it from another point of view. If he was trusted with Randy, this guy is now being used to help Jasper. So you have to look at it from that way. I'm not saying Javon Evans is helping enhancement talent and he's that guy. However, I think he's the perfect guy to help someone get up to the next level. And the next person is Jasper. So, let's move swiftly on before Shades have, as a...
I'm here for you. If you're listening to this for some reason, I'm going to smack both of them.
Okay. We'll confirm if you've done it on Saturday. Okay, let's move on to something else. I think another thing that will be quite good. I'm not sure if I've enjoyed the build. Two former AEW stars, not that I like to use them that way. However, guys, Falls Count Anywhere match for the NXT North American Championship. We have Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints. I actually nearly said Ricky Starks then. Obviously, I'm so used to him being that. Right? Still weird saying Ricky Saints. Anyway, look, I don't know. I want to go first on this one because you'll be actually intrigued. I like Saints. I like Ricky Saints a lot. His style, his poise, and that we see obviously in AEW. Obviously, he's now brought it to NXT. He's one of those guys that you just love to hate because you think he's just an asshole. However, he's so good at doing it that you can't help but enjoy his work. Right? He's that kind of guy. However, since I've listened to Chris Van Vliet's podcast and I heard Ethan Page just in his natural self, I think I've become an even bigger fan of him than I ever was before. So I think the man Ethan Page, as opposed to the wrestler, has kind of really swayed me to one side and made it very one-sided for me. I think Ethan Page has to win this because I think he needs to go down as the greatest NXT North American champion in NXT history. I think that's his goal. Even better than obviously when we had Keith Lee. That was a while ago now, but better than guys like Ricochet that has had it as well. I think Ethan Page is on that route now to be the greatest NXT North American champion that's ever happened in NXT. And I actually look forward to it happening if it happens. Shades, I'll let you go next on this one. What's your thoughts?
I'll pass it to Deekz.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm going to local medical facility.
Well, okay. Go on, Deekz. I'll let you go then. So, with that being said, who are you going with? Are you going Ethan Page or Ricky Saints?
I can't stand Page. I think he's an absolute B. So I'm going for Ricky Saints. Hang on.
Sorry, just to clarify. So you're telling me, right? Because I know what you kind of, as being family, I know what you kind of things you hate and what you hate and what you love in like wrestling and things like that, right? And you're telling me that you hate Ethan Page more than Ricky Saints?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But are you a fan of Ricky Saints?
I like Ricky Saints. I like Ricky Saints a lot. I like his attitude. I like the way he wrestles. He's got a great style to him. He's tough as well. I like it.
Honestly, that's really shocked me. That's really shocked me.
I prefer Saints over Page, big time.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, that's really thrown me for a loop because I actually thought you would have because you can hate Ethan Page the character, right? For example, the mic work and stuff, not in a bad way of like he's terrible, but because he does his job well. Okay. But then obviously Ricky Saints is really good on a stick too, and talking. But then he's kind of like, you hate The Miz. Like, you're not a fan of The Miz. Obviously, his older work, yes. But I remember you had a hatred for The Miz.
Oh, and back in the day, I did not like The Miz at all. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
But now, in the present day, I love Miz. Miz is great.
Okay, so with that in mind, then I would say not that I want to compare the wrestler to the wrestler, but are you saying Page is closer to Miz in terms of how much you hate him? Because I thought that would be the opposite, and it'd be Saint for the way his mannerisms, the the all eyes on me, the presence, the little, like the signature pose when he puts his head to the side. That's everything that you hate. And it's really weird hearing that you really like that and you hate Paige. That's really confused me.
Well, I'll put it in easy terms. Paige reminds me of early Miz.
Yeah.
Saints reminds me of early Punk.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
What
Okay.
is going on?
We were just discussing Deekz's.
I heard everything. We've
Yeah.
got Deekz throwing down Javon Evans for the loss. We've got you throwing down Javon Evans for the loss. Now we've got Deekz flipping tables again. My head hurts.
So
What
I'm quite
happened?
shocked that you said that. I mean, it's a cool comparison as well, by the way. Like, I've not really looked obviously that way. But yeah, I never thought I would have heard you say that about Ricky Saints, purely because of just everything that he embellishes and the way he moves and his presentation and stuff. Yeah, I'm so intrigued by that. Honestly, I really am, because that would normally be someone that you hate, right?
Normally, yeah, but as I said, he reminds me of an early Punk. And when Punk first come out, I loved Punk when he first came out. And then he switched into his mid bit he had for a little while when he was part of the
Straight
Nexus.
Society and
Sorry, and I didn't like that. But then now he's come back and he's back as old Punk again. I like Punk again.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So yeah.
We could do a whole show on what Deekz has just said. Just interviewing Deekz with different questions.
I think more so because Ricky Saints is that person that you feel like you need to hate. But then I guess if you feel like you need to hate Paige more because he obviously technically he's the bad guy in this, it's like having a heel versus someone that you need to hate, you know, which is really weird. In terms of obviously the way that sounds in booking. All right, so you're going Ricky Saints to win.
I am Saints all the way.
Okay, I'm going Ethan Page. Shades is just on you. Are you going Page or Saints?
The local medical facility has said I'm clear to continue, but I can't take many more heart attacks. So you two behave yourself.
I apologise.
Can't remember anything.
Ethan Page to win, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a different level. I'm giving it to him. He's the greatest North American champion we've ever had. He will be the greatest North American champion we're ever going to get for a long, long time. You know, and I'm going to go so forward as to say this. Let's go 30, 40 years, 50 years down the line, if you will. You know, when he retires, he will go into the Hall of Fame. He's already had a great Hall of Fame. I won't say career. He's had a great Hall of Fame moments, and this title run is one of them. It's all the things you look for when someone is, being elected for the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
He is on a record run, and if he keeps doing this Gunther style, if you will, of these record title runs and just sheer going for it, he's got so many good things coming for him. Ethan Page is the winner in my book.
Yeah, I agree. I will say though, just to add a little bit of information here. So longest. I'm just trying to go by it like length of reign. Sorry. Longest reigning NXT North American champion is Oba Femi, 273 days, followed by a close second, Wesley, 269 days. I think that would have been longer, obviously, but obviously with things like injury and all that kind of thing. So then obviously we get down to Keith Lee, Carmelo Hayes. It's within a couple of days. There's 175, 172. Down to Gargano, which 163, Ricochet 161, Tony D'Angelo 147. Now, bearing in mind, I will say Saints and Page have both held the title already. Ricky Saints held it for 56. Ethan Page on his first run. Ethan Page obviously he's also on his first run of 42 days. So honest opinion, regardless of who has it, do you think they could go on to have a real incredible run and be as good as Oba Femi, or do you think that's going to take some doing? Like, do you think Ricky Saints has the ability to do that, or do you think it's more Ethan Page that has the ability to do that? If we're going for longevity with a long title run, which one would you rather? Which one do you think has more ability? Not would you rather. Which one do you think has more ability to do that?
I'll go last.
I mean, I can go first. I think it'll be Ethan Page because I don't think they're. I think because as Deekz said, he hates the guy. He has to hate him. So because of that, every person you put against him, even if it's a heel versus a heel, you would want the other person, the heel that you hate less, to win. And that's why I think Page is really good in this position. I think Izzy's a perfect prime position for him. Do I think he's going to be better longer than Oba Femi? I have no idea. I'd like to think so. I think it'd be interesting to see where we go. Deekz, what's your thoughts?
If Page does retain this time, which I don't want him to do, I reckon his run, if he does retain it, will go probably 150-ish.
That's
I don't think he'll get up to Oba Femi's title. Oba Femi's one. I don't think he'll get out high.
Okay. And Shades, finally, your opinion?
I think that I'm going to disagree with my dear friend here and go. I'm going to place bets now that he's going to be the longest reigning. I don't see him losing it. He's so good with it. He's one of the best to hold it with the way he styles it, with the way he is with it. You know, very out there. He'll shove it in your face and back it up in the ring. You know, he'll talk you down and then back up what he's saying. I don't see him losing it, but if he does lose it, I see him getting it back extremely quickly.
Yeah. All right, that's valid. All right, we are going to move on to our next match. And this is going to be, here we go, Jordynne Grace. Why have I got that on?
Oh yeah,
what's going on? Great American Bash. Oh wait, wrong match. Sorry, I apologize. Bang, there it is. Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence, which is Jacy, Jayne, and Fallon Henley, with Jazmyn Nyx at ringside in a tag team match. Now, I do want to give you some kind of information on this. So, Shades, do you mind going first on this one? You went last one twice, actually. I'll let you go with that twice. Do you have any thoughts on this one, on who's winning and stuff like that? And before you kind of give a full, long, detailed answer, just say like yes or no, and kind of give a who you'd like to see win, because I do have more information to give you before you give your answer.
Where do I start? Jordynne Grace is a force to be reckoned with. We know that. We are in a three-way agreement on that.
Yeah.
Therefore, Jordynne Grace and company to win.
Okay. Right. Now, Deekz, before you go, right, this is what I want to tell you about. So, Chase, you do have your chance to change your mind here and there, right? So, obviously, on Saturday, we have Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence, Jacy, Jayne, Fallon Henley, with Jazmyn Nyx at ringside, right? Now, just to remind you, at Evolution on the Sunday, we have Jacy, Jayne, champion, with Fallon Henley and Jazmyn Nyx versus Jordynne Grace in a singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, obviously that's on the Sunday. Now, after that, I need you to please bear in mind that we were talking about the TNA Slammiversary. God, I've got too many graphics up, man. We had a TNA Slammiversary coming up, and just so you know, the match on the card for TNA is I'm just looking for the women's title now. Is Marsha Slamovich, who is the current TNA Women's Champion. She will face the winner of Jacy, Jayne, and Jordynne Grace at Slammiversary. Now, the stipulation for this TNA Slammiversary is title versus title. So whoever wins gets both titles. So you've got a lot to bear in mind when you kind of make this decision. So will it be Fallon Henry retained, obviously having the moment at Great American Bash, then running on to Evolution and running to Slammiversary? Do you think it's going to go one way or the other? So obviously, I'm asking you for your other predictions, obviously Evolution and TNA, but obviously we've got that stuff to bear in mind as well, and it all falls back in these two women. So Jacy, Jayne, and Jordynne Grace. So there's a lot to kind of bear in mind and take in. I apologize that it's a long-winded kind of explanation there. So if you want, I can go ahead and go first to give you guys time to think.
I'll make it easy.
Okay, well, if you think it's easy, okay, go on, go for it.
Drip Jordynne in gold.
Oh wow. Okay.
Drip Jordynne in gold. She deserves all the gold. Give her all the gold. It would be one, historic moment, two, a badass moment, and three, great for all shows.
All right. Valid. Deekz?
Yeah. With this in this match, we've got three wrestlers we know very well. We've seen compete regularly over the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got one woman who's brand new, who haven't seen anything out of yet.
Okay, so I will say, so the person you're talking about here, Blake Monroe. However, yes. I will say within WWE world, yes, I agree. We haven't seen much of her. However, if you are an AEW kind of fan, you do double dip or you kind of sway towards one way, which is obviously AEW, or you, like I said, you watch NXT and you've only seen it this way, then obviously you wouldn't have seen it. So for you, for example, when we watched AEW last year, I believe you may have kind of seen her in a match or kind of appear or something. You've not actually seen her go yet at a performance properly. I haven't. So for you, she's going to be like fresh and new. I know what she can do. So it kind of changes my mind a kind of a little, you know. So
on my own experience of seeing this woman, I've seen only one or two matches of her in it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, she's a wild card in this match.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're going to win that match that night. I think they're going to lose, just Fatal because. Influence. No, Fatal Influence is going to win this match that night,
right?
Just because of the extra person that Wings had.
Oh, okay. I actually agree with you. I think Fatal Influence get the win here because I don't think that Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe are going to be really on the same page. Obviously, Blake Monroe come out to help Jordynne Grace. Blake Monroe made a very glamorous, should we say, appearance since she's been there. However, I think we may be getting a heel turn coming very, very soon from Blake Monroe, because I think the idea is for her to befriend Jordynne Grace and then stab her in the back as quick as she's become her friend. I think that's what we may get. Whether or not that gives you thoughts on what I think is going to happen at Evolution, fine. However, I think for this part of the discussion, it's Fatal Influence because it affects my prediction for Evolution. I will leave that there, but I'm going Evolution for that. Sorry, Fatal. Fatal
Influence.
Fatal Influence for the win there. Man, there was too many words in that sentence. So as I said, obviously with this one, that was actually there's a lot to kind of take on with obviously the women here performing, and then obviously we've got the women at Evolution, and then the match with Evolution. Whoever wins that goes on to Slammiversary to, you know, move on to Marsha Slamovich. So there's a lot, because there's so much involved. This is what I was saying. It kind of, this does overlap, not once, but this time twice within TLEs. So I'm kind of interested about really to see what goes on here. But yeah, I'm going Fatal Influence. Finally, guys, this is the main event. Oba Femi versus Yoshiki with Josh Briggs. Deekz, I feel like you were very heavily looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I predicted this match a couple of weeks back before it even got announced that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like Shiki a lot. He's got a wicked wrestling style. He's got his very intense style, but he's also got swagger about him, which I like as well. He's got his intensity, but he's also got brains as well with him. So I like it.
Mm.
And I'm going to go for a new champion. I think
Ooh.
the ruler. I think the ruler is going to fall.
Can I? Okay.
I really do.
So I was about to say, do you think the NXT giant in Oba Femi? Well, I was going to say, technically, he's the former NXT giant, right? Oba Femi, because just out of curiosity, do you know how damn tall Josh Briggs is?
Yes, he's like 6'8".
6'8". Dude, 6'8". Right? So he's taller than him. And obviously he's at ringside. So do you think there's an involvement there from Yoshiki? Do you think he's going to get involved in the match? Do you think Oba Femi is good enough as the NXT champion, as the Nigerian giant, should we say, in NXT, to like the ruler? Does he have enough concentration in the bag to not only have to face Yoshiki, but know that Josh Briggs is snarling at ringside at him? Is it doable?
Josh Briggs is a very big, very intimidating, very powerful guy in his own right.
Guy's a mountain.
Oba Femi again is a big guy who's powerful, and he's again intimidating guy. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that Oba Femi is underestimating his opponent, and he's gonna get caught by surprise and lose. Just for that reason.
All right, Shades, who are you going with? Are you going with the 6'8" guy or the 6'6" guy? Essentially, that's like we got. Well, hey, wait, how tall is Yoshiki? Do we know? Hang on,
I think Sadiq is 6'1". I think
he's bang 6 foot.
What's happening?
I know.
What is going on? I can't. I'm losing. This is so good. This is the last match because I can't take much more of this. Something has happened to Deekz. I say we put him on a 72-hour watch. And then you would take turns, we'll do 12-hour shifts. Because he's losing his mind. Oba Femi to win, Oba Femi to rule, the ruler will keep going.
Interesting. It's very, very interesting. So we have one apiece. We have one apiece.
Now, where do you stand? Where do you stand? Do you join Deekz in sheer back crazy land, or do you come back to reality, where Oba Femi is ruler of all?
Oh man, I think I guess do we call Oba Femi the king of NXT right now, the ruler that is the ruling the thing. Every ruler has their day, and every now and then a ruler has to leave for a new one to join and to become ruler of NXT. I think the ref goes. This is my thing for this. I think the reason I'm calling it is I think the ref goes down in this match. Yoshiki is down as Oba Femi gets up, jogs Josh Briggs, clatters him, and that is the reason it happens. I think Oba Femi loses because of what Josh Briggs does, and Yoshiki gets a kind of a tainted win. Which I'm not against. I think it could work. No, you're not agreeing with that, Deekz?
No.
Oh, you think it's a clear-cut win?
Yeah, I can't see Josh Briggs interfering. If he does, his second partner will be irate with him.
Do you think?
Yeah. He's only there for support, man. That's what he's there for, support. He's not there to interfere.
Okay, but what if he does?
If he does interfere and Shiki allows it, I will be gobsmacked.
I'm gobsmacked.
Because Shiki's a Japanese wrestler, and they are honest wrestlers. They don't normally cheat to win.
Hey, I understand what you're saying. However, Shinsuke Nakamura hit AJ Styles in the testicles. So, in theory, they may have honor, but sometimes that sways them.
My turn. Sometimes a samurai has honor, but a samurai must do what a samurai must do.
Exactly.
You're still talking crazy, though. Both of you. I'm ready to flip my own table.
On that point, I'm done for the night, I think.
Yeah. Okay, it's interesting. This is what I like when it works, but no one really, obviously, with all these are predictions, we don't know what's actually going to happen. But yeah, I see. Yeah, obviously hit the comments below. Obviously, if you're watching this back on a rerun or like on demand. But yeah, like I'm looking forward to obviously all of them. All right, to finally end this, then obviously please like and subscribe to the channel. So and hit that notification bell so you'll know first when we are live or when we drop a new video. Finally, guys, there is 5 matches on the card. We won't include the TNA contract signing. Out of the 5 matches that we've gone through on the card, which one are you looking forward to? I don't need explanations. I don't need reasons. Just call out the match that you think you are looking forward to the most and it's going to steal the show.
Force count anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that match is going to be here and everywhere, and it's going to be a great match.
All right. Shades?
Yvonne Evans will be victorious. That's the match that's going to match of the night. I'm most excited for it. And let me just make this one statement. I now have told a Dom I have a doctor's note. Leave me alone.
Right. I do think it's out of these two. Obviously, the both ones that you've both said, but obviously I don't want to pull out on another one that's obviously been said. So I think the match that will be given a lot of time, and if it's booked damn well right, these ladies are going to steal the show.
That's not a bad show, actually. That was my second choice.
Man, can I just say as well, just a random soul snatcher coming out of nowhere on someone like Izzi Dame. Oh my goodness, it's going to be incredible.
That girl could hit a move from anywhere.
Oh,
technically no walkout.
Yeah, exactly that. All right, so that's been the NXT, the Great American Bash predictions. We will be doing Evolution. We will be covering Saturday night's main event, and obviously at some point we will try and get around to doing AEW. So originally I was supposed to do AEW predictions yesterday. Time just got away from me. I couldn't get to it. So we will be covering it in some capacity. So if it's not a prediction, then we'll be kind of covering and doing like a review. Obviously we can't do a watch along because, guys, little spoiler alert, woohoo, we are going to be doing watch alongs for. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the graphic up. That was kind of lackluster, wasn't it? We are going to be doing a watch along for this show right here. Bam. We are going to be doing a watch along for NXT Great American Bash. And I guess because the cat's out of the bag and we're talking about other things to do with watch alongs, guys, we are also going to be doing a watch along for this show right here. Following Great American Bash, boom, we will be doing a watch along for Saturday night's main event. So that means you've got us for like nearly like 6 hours.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I wish you was the best of luck.
Thank you.
We are going to go full WWE on you. You are going to have the greatest time. And after the stream, I'm now signed off for the next 9 months. Because this has been the first stream that Shades has been left gobsmacked And I'm going to encourage you, if you're listening in the future, hello, hopefully it's a lovely day, good weather for you. Leave a comment if you think these two have lost their marbles, because I
Yeah,
do.
we have. And on that
Um,
note, guys, I'm going to throw the graphic up and I'm going to end the stream. It's been a pleasure talking to you about the predictions for NXT Great American Bash. Oh! And before I go, guys, just to say, everyone that does follow us on TikTok, it blows my mind that you've already got us to 1,000 followers.
Thank
Oh my
you.
goodness, 1,000 followers on TikTok. Obviously we're just getting warmed up. So guys, please keep
Me and
following.
Capz were in the gym. That was such a great thing to see.
Yeah, we
When
hit
it
we hit
flashed up on the
1,000 while we
car.
was in the gym. And on top of that, I also leg press 300 kg today. And then I literally
I
looked at
love
my
it.
phone, and that's when we hit 1,000 followers.
I
so,
almost had 200. I had 200.
yeah. So it's good times, man. Some nice little milestones coming. Obviously, this is a prediction show. On that note, guys, I'll speak to you tomorrow for another prediction.
Peace.
Peace.